Well, Maggie's chemo is working. Gina wants Rome back on antidepressants, and we get a bombshell from Ashley. Finally, some answers. Thank goodness we have longer than 12 seconds to talk about this, guys. It's a million little things. Let's do it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, there's so much trouble for this whole group.
A lot of trouble being dumped on them.
This is giving us chill vibes.
I know it is, and I mean, we probably should pick something a little bit more.
Like, I'm already fatigued over here. Let's not make
into it, but it just it hit me because there's, I think, a lot of, I don't know if I have more questions than answers after this episode, or I feel like what's happening, but we're gonna break it all down for you. Hi guys, I'm Laura L. Thomas. We are in the studio tonight talking about episode 13. Episode 13 of A Million Little Things. 12 seconds. I got a lovely group of ladies joining me tonight. Go kick us off, Maggie.
Yeah, hey everybody, I'm Maggie Clark.
And hi, I'm Yasmine Tanres.
Hey guys, I'm Alexandria.
It's been a minute since we've had the gang all back
The
together.
gang is back together.
It feels so good.
Yes.
Missed you two over there.
Yes.
Been disappearing.
You too. Back again in the
I'm
house.
like a butterfly you can't catch. You know? Okay, I like it.
You came back. That's what's important.
That's right. We always come back home, which is important.
Yeah.
All right, so ladies, tell me about episode 13. Did it live up to expectations? Do we have more questions than answers? I feel like we've gotten, obviously, some answers from Ashley tonight, some answers from who Constance Zimmer actually is. Is that her name?
Yes.
Yes. So we've learned a little bit of stuff, but I feel like I could have dealt. Thank goodness there's just a little bit more to go in the season, but I feel like I wanted more. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree. I mean, most questions were answered about the why of John, but my number one question that I've been forever saying and will not stop saying, who is Barbara Morgan? We found a little bit, but we still don't know about the painting, but we still don't know who she is, really.
Yeah.
And we have theories about it. We'll get into it,
Yeah,
Laura.
we'll talk about it in predictions. I think mine might be like the most off the wall one, but I don't know. I mean, at this point, we were also convinced that Constance Zimmer was going to be Barbara Morgan, and then she introduces herself tonight as Jerry Huntington. Is that right?
Yeah.
Jerry Huntington,
That's right. Yeah.
Jerry Huntington.
Yeah.
And I always assumed from the phone call with John that Jerry was a man.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
right?
no.
Shame on us.
I thought it was a woman.
Well, normally,
You did?
really?
Yes, because
Really?
initially when he was speaking to, or when he received a voicemail, didn't he, when he was in the house? That's the first time when we saw the dynamic between John and, oh my God, sorry, Delilah, and he was getting agitated because Jerry was like, stop calling me. There was an audio, there was a voicemail.
Oh,
but wasn't that like a couple episodes ago, though? Right?
Yeah.
That was a long time
So
ago.
that's why I was like, yeah, that's a woman.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah.
Good memory.
That I
Yeah.
mean, that's the
I
only
didn't
way I
connect
connected it. But and I did not understand. I thought this Jerry was another woman. And then we clocked it at work. Jerry, you got the votes. You promised you got the votes, and that's when I'm like, okay, this is actually a business deal or something.
Got it.
So
Did you ever think that Constance Zimmer was Jerry?
no.
No.
I
Yeah.
always thought, I mean, I think I said this a couple of episodes ago where I was like, oh yeah, we know now that's Barbara Morgan. And now we're like, no, we don't know.
Right. I mean,
Huh,
they
guessing.
really duped us with that because it made it kind of feel like we were sleuths and we figured it out before the other characters did. Like, oh wow, look, the audience knows who Barbara Morgan is. It's the lady from the funeral. But no, we were wrong all
been
along.
bamboozled.
So we've been bamboozled.
I like that.
We've been bamboozled.
Yes.
The writing on this is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Very good.
So good. It really is. We
Yeah.
played right into their hands, right into their brilliant writing hands.
We did.
Well, we're going to chat about, just to get an update on all of the characters. Maggie gets some great news regarding her health. Rome and Gina have a little bit of an interesting situation with a wedding album, but then Gina kind of reveals some vulnerable information, obviously, about Rome. And then Miss Catherine has a steamy night. Maybe that's what we should have opened up to, like, tell me something.
Something like that.
And then obviously this huge big bombshell that Ashley finally delivers to Delilah. So we're going to break it all down for you right now, starting with Maggie. She gets some great news that her tumor has shrunk by 8%.
I'm so proud of her. I'm not proud of that wig, though, that she had on this episode, but, we'll talk about it. I mean, if it makes her happy.
It's a phase. I mean, I don't know.
I love it.
You loved it?
I love how she's rocking it. And
Yeah.
of course, that's one of the reasons why I like this episode, because it was giving us answers in some form. So we saw, as you briefly mentioned, about Catherine, sort of like her dynamic there, what's going to happen. Maggie having a bit of an answer now with her developments, and it's positive. And that's what we were all rooting for.
True. That's why I was so hard on her when I would talk about her, like, do the chemo. Like, why is she not doing this? But look at the outcome. It wasn't for the bad. It's good.
It is.
8% of it has shrunk, and if we get 8% more, we can take it out successfully and not damage any tissue.
Yeah.
I say that as grounds for, like, happiness.
Right, and I'm just finding that Gary and Maggie's relationship is just getting stronger and stronger, and it's just so nice to witness that, just their little moments that they have, holding hands, and he'll grab her hand and kiss it, and he's like, oh, can you wear that wig for me later? It's just
That was cute.
It's really fun to see the two of them
was hilarious.
have their relationship blossom, because she really needs him. She needs that support. And it's great to see. And also, I really liked the storyline this episode with her and Sophie, because the two of them really helped each other out. Maggie was helping Sophie deal with, again, the loss of her dad. And, my dad was supposed to teach me how to drive and all of these feelings. And then, Sophie was encouraging her to ultimately talk to her parents on the phone about her chemo and her returned cancer. So it was nice.
Do you guys think she didn't want to talk to the parents because it would have felt more real for her that this is what she's doing? She's going through the chemo?
And I think that she's probably so scared to scare her parents because they've already lost one of their two children. So she's all that's left, and they almost lost her once before.
Yeah.
So I think she was in such denial initially that her cancer was back, and she was saying, remember when she was packing up her apartment, she's like, I'm tying up all these loose ends before I die because I don't want my parents to have to do it. So I think that that's why she didn't tell them right away, because it was going to be really hard for them to take that in.
But then I also think it's just not sharing, and if things were to get worse, that'd be really unfair for them as well to not have known anything at all.
Yeah.
She's a naturally bottled up person, but like times like these, you need to just let that go.
Yeah.
And just talk about it.
Well, there she goes.
Finally,
You made
yeah.
me care.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you really see then her soul that she's not very open, and I think now she's finally opening up since it's becoming a little bit more positive. But the way that she said, you made me care, was like, whoa, you should. It's your life.
Right?
Care. Everybody cares about
But
you.
I think she's the type of person that is so fiercely independent and so afraid of disrupting anyone else's life that, and I can relate to that. I feel like in a past life or in my youth, so to speak, I can understand like taking on the burden so as to not be a burden to anyone else. And I understand that mentality of wanting to kind of be that way and be a protector of people that you care about. But I think the longer that this goes on, and obviously the more positive her storyline gets, the more she's finding that that she doesn't have to do it alone.
Yes.
You know, which I think is really, really great. I think that's a huge personal growth moment for Miss Maggie. So yay, kudos, snaps to
Good job, Maggie.
We love
for
you,
doing
Maggie.
the chemo.
Going through with it.
Thank you. Let's I have a question though about the chemotherapy and then Rome and Gina, because Rome and Gina, we see them towards the end of the episode. Gina says, I don't think you need to be off your antidepressants. I think you need to continue to take them, and you need to continue to take them for me.
I was going to ask that.
So before we break all of that down, because I know that there was a lot of backlash about Maggie doing the chemotherapy for Gary, right? And then this idea presenting itself of Rome taking the antidepressants for Gina. But before we break all of that down, Tay, what you got for us?
Before, of course, we have to talk about our lovely fans and our lovely AfterBuzzers. And I just wanted to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV Talk and for helping us to continue to grow. If you're on YouTube right now, please hit that thumbs up button. Only. That's it. And if you're on YouTube, please give us a 5-star rating. Not 4, not 3, definitely not 2 or 1, only 5. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment and even on the live chat so you can get involved in the conversation. So, being a part of AfterBuzz has meant so much to all of us, and we truly appreciate you for supporting us and doing what we love. But don't forget to tell your friends and keep enjoying our lovely shows like this one.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
guys. We love you.
Truly, we could not do it without you. It's the reason why we show up each and every week. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We also are in our live chat tonight. So if you have any questions, comments, theories, clever anecdotes, anything you want to share with us, type them in the comments and perhaps we'll read one on air. So ladies, let's chat about the question that I posed before we took a little hiatus there. What do you think? I mean, do we think that it's fair for Gina to ask Rome to take the antidepressants for her?
I don't like it.
Okay, why?
Because you're asking someone to take medication that's like Rome. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Rome doesn't need them anymore. So like, how does it help Regina for him to take the pills? You see what I mean?
But how do you justify him not needing it anymore?
He seems perfectly well. We haven't seen a lot of him over the past couple episodes, but he seems fine now. I mean, that was the point of antidepressants, was to like kind of level everything out. His like,
see, I feel like he went off of them because he thought that that's what was best for their relationship. So it's almost like he went off of them for her because he had no sex drive, and that he was concerned was gonna, be detrimental to his relationship. So I think he's like, oh, look at me. Like, look at how great last night was. Like, everything's great. I'm fine. But maybe on the inside, he's not fine. And I think that Regina realizes that could potentially be the case. So I see where she's coming from when she says that, but I'm just thinking that maybe he should continue therapy and then see what his doctor says and see if his doctor recommends that he goes back on them or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that he needs them still?
I don't know what's going on inside of his head.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't had a lot.
Right. So he may very well still
I think
need
he's
them.
doing fine, just based off of the little bit that we've seen. But maybe I don't know.
I don't know. And you're making faces over here too. So I guess our listeners, but I've never personally had an experience with any kind of antidepressants, so I'm not as knowledgeable about perhaps the. But I would imagine that there's got to be sort of a ramping up period to get them to work, and then also a weaning off period in terms of you're talking about the balance of chemicals in the brain. And I don't think that it's something that can be so easily flipped on and off. It's like, and I think that's the trap, I think, from what I understand, that a lot of people fall into in terms of taking medication like this. They get on their medication and they think they're doing fine. You know what I mean? Like they think, oh, I'm doing great. I don't need these anymore. And so they flush them, and it becomes this series of peaks and valleys in a lot of ways, instead of giving the brain some time to actually heal. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
mean, we haven't
Your thoughts?
had much of an insight as to what he's going on the inside, as you said, Tay. I do know people who have been on it and on and off, and I can see and have been exposed to the effects of it. And it's true that when you have been diagnosed to take antidepressants, that if you do come off them, you are going to experience that high as he is, but it's going to go down very, very low, like super low. But it also depends, because we actually do not know what type of depression he has, because bipolar is the worst type that you can have, where you are supposed to be on them constantly, because that's when you get like the huge dips. Whereas if it depends on his type, or, I mean, we've seen from the beginning he tried to commit suicide. That's a huge
That's what I was
thing.
gonna say. If you're taking such a drastic
Yeah.
measure like that, you would think that there's at least something more than, say, situational depression going on.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So I am a little bit worried. I don't think Regina should be forcing it upon him, but I
Yeah.
do feel like she can see, she is worried, and rightfully so. And I think, like you said, Maggie, I feel like both of them should go to the doctor together and talk about it together.
Well, she said that she's down. It's not like I don't think she said she's worried about the relationship, right? She's just saying she personally is down. That's why I'm confused as to why she wants him to take it for the relationship. You see what I'm trying to say? I don't know. I'm trying to get this out.
So you're saying she's feeling blue?
Yeah.
And-
Because didn't she say that?
I think she's just concerned about him.
Oh, okay. Maybe I got that wrong.
I agree. I don't think, this is a serious medication. You can't just one day be like, nah, I'm going to go off of it. You
Yeah.
do need a doctor to monitor whether or not you're taking it. And I agree with you, Laura. I think that there's, you have to kind of wean yourself off of this type of medication. But, again, we're not
We don't know.
doctors.
Yeah.
So
So,
let's also take into consideration that it's only been 11 weeks, as we learned tonight. Like it's been a very short amount of time. And I don't know that Rome gave them a fair enough shot to really see the long-term effects. I think he got one side effect that kind of was not to his liking, and he scrapped the whole thing. And he's like, well, I'm fine, I'm good enough, or whatever. As long as I can have my sex drive back, then we're fine.
Well,
I just think it's
that
like
is a big scare for men.
But totally.
yeah.
But also, what's a big scare for women is losing your life
True.
partner.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Very true.
And the idea of losing your life partner, I'll tap out for the team, for a good hot second, sit on the
Sure.
sidelines if I know that we're taking care of you and your mental health.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We don't also know at this point if he has taken that commercial job, do we?
I don't know.
I don't think we know yet. We need to have an episode about him.
I know.
We need one
out
just
more,
about
yeah.
Rome for
Well,
most of it.
In terms of predictions, we may get one because it looks like Gina's going to make some pretty drastic decisions from
Yes.
what we saw tonight and
Yeah.
in the previews to come. So I'm sure we'll get some Rome and Gina
Yes.
juicy
Details.
episodes
Yeah.
coming up.
Yes, definitely.
Do we have anybody in our live chat tonight with us?
Yes, we do. We have Tanya. Hello.
Hi, Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
We have
love
Brooks
Tanya.
AG as well. And so Brooke, for instance, was saying getting more insight into what John was going through, does that make Delilah's affair worse? So we're going to be speaking about that whole issue, I guess, when we tap into Delilah and the case. And then he was questioning if anybody else thought that Ashley was going to kill herself when she was
Of
Oh,
course.
yes. That was our
gosh.
The
initial
setup that they
reaction.
did, it
Yeah.
gave me a heart attack.
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
like,
please
really?
don't.
No, not another one. That
I
couldn't
was
be.
like,
just
surely
wanna say
she's
goodbye.
not gonna.
I know.
You just got the ticket to go to Spain. Why
and
would
that
you?
might happen.
They really set it up like that.
Yeah.
With that
Yeah.
voicemail.
These writers,
But
man,
they
I
keep
can't.
on leaving these traces.
I'm
and-
glad they didn't leave it that way for long, though. Like, I'm glad it wasn't like
Yeah.
that and then a commercial break.
It was
Or
12
like,
seconds.
Done.
It was 12 seconds. Okay, I'm done.
Too many 12 seconds references. Well, great. Guys, keep those questions coming in the live chat. We love to hear from you. Let's move into Catherine. Catherine had quite the steamy episode. Okay, my favorite thing about I'm probably going to get really chastised for saying this, but when she invites Hunter to dinner and she says, he says, sure, make the reservation. She says, how about my place?
Ooh.
Is that not always code for bow chicka bow wow?
She's so awkwardly cute, though. How that whole scene and on the phone with them, that was so adorable. That's like
my
a
gosh.
Catherine we don't see
And
often,
then she
and
called
I love it.
Carter. And she called her assistant Carter, and he was like, "Oh my God, girl!"
I love it.
Back on the
So
market.
cute. So
I'm
fun.
so glad that she has him
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Because that is, we always you always have like that one friend that you call that you're just like, what am I doing? This is crazy.
Yeah.
He's like the elevator of the whole situation as well.
Yeah.
Like, just really motivates her. I love that
so
kind of
And
character.
hilarious.
Yeah.
That whole thing was funny.
Yeah,
we
it was
needed
great.
that.
We did.
So then what do we think about this budding relationship between Catherine and Hunter?
I'm not against it.
Do it, boo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need it.
She needs it.
And he's cute.
She deserves it.
Yeah.
Like
He's fine.
adorably, yes, in better terms, yes. He is like freaking sexy.
Oh,
yes.
he's a total babe.
Really
And
is.
she deserves to have fun and spread her wings and other parts of her body.
wings,
and
Right, she deserves it. Eddie's
experience
over here looking
with
at
a
the
hot
2
man.
plates and stuff. I'm like, sir, you did this.
Yeah.
No.
You
And
had
he's
your
looking
you
all
had your
sad.
time.
He was
Slide.
looking all sad, and I'm like, I don't feel bad for you.
Okay, that was gonna be my
No.
next question. Do we have any sympathy for Eddie?
None.
No.
No.
Not at
Eddie,
all.
Not a little?
No.
No, for what? For what, Laura? For what?
Well, because he made...
Wah, wah, wah. For what?
No. I'm just playing devil's advocate, but he, he made a mistake, and they...
He made a lot of mistakes.
He made a lot
big
of mistakes.
mistakes.
I know, but they have a family. I don't know.
I know. I see your point as well. It's like
I
they
have
have
no
a kid
sympathy.
together. It's so tough.
I'm not saying you should stay with an adulterer just because
No.
you have kids. I'm not like, y'all don't come after me with your like
Pitchforks.
pitchforks. But
How dare you?
I know. I mean, I'm never condoning that, but I always condone a family, trying to work things out and stay
He's
together.
ultimately not a bad person.
Right.
It's just the things that he's done. And that's
And
the,
with who?
And yes.
It was the best friend.
and basically
Life.
broken that trust and the family, which is sad.
Yeah, but what did he expect from her? That she was just going to sit around and never date anyone? I mean, their marriage was
No,
over.
but I think it really hit home when he saw the 2 plates there.
Yeah.
Like it really hit home because it meant like not just bringing him to the dinner, to show him off as a little piece of arm candy. It meant a real relationship. It meant she's invested. She's invested in somebody enough to have them over to our house to sleep in
That's an
our bed.
Okay, but look what Eddie did this whole time about lying
I
to the whole
know.
family, lying to the whole friend circle, lying to Catherine
I know.
for X amount of time.
But that's in his mind that things are developing for Katherine and Hunter or whatever he's assuming at this point, Eddie, because we actually don't know Catherine's motivations with Hunter, and I think she's even uncertain. And then Eddie, I think, seeing those plates, obviously assumed rightfully. And I kind of feel like he's insinuated the divorce for her, not because of him. I don't think he actually wants to go forward
You
with
think
it.
he's done it for her?
Yes,
Because he
because
wants
I
her to
agree
be
with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Because he
I agree
saw
with that.
and he's like, she's ready to move on. Because Jared was like, you got to see where her head's at. And then he saw that, assumed, and was like, you know what? I'm going to do an act of love to let her go
Yeah.
and bring it forward.
I totally agree
I
with
agree.
you. That was well said.
And as smart as Theo is, I think Theo would understand all of this. Somebody actually told the truth to this little boy. I feel like he would be more adult than us and actually break everything down. That boy is so cute.
He's so sweet.
Like my
So
ovaries
sweet.
every episode with this
That
little boy.
kid is real cute. I'm not gonna lie.
Love Theo.
So smart and it's cute.
But what's interesting about that scene was, I think, and help me out, guys, I think that is our first time that we've ever seen Catherine break down.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think that that's the first time, because she, from episode 1, just put on this strong facade. And she was just this, tough as nails working mom, and nothing could get her down. And then here we see her, just realizing that, this chapter of her life is over. And it's a new beginning. And I'm sure she's got to mourn that relationship, even though she probably already has in some ways, but now in a different way.
But I don't think she's fully, I don't think she's fully committed or invested in Hunter as such because of that argument that they've just had. Ultimately, Eddie did that act of love, but then she noticed, oh, that's why, because she looked at the plates and she had cracked down, because she hasn't fully let go of that relationship either. I don't think either of them actually want to get a divorce. But in his mind, Eddie's thinking she is ready. And then she's like, no, I'm not really ready, but this is happening.
And she probably
But
thinks,
all of this stuff is being said in our heads and not with our mouths.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like nobody's
Yeah. Saying
nobody's
anything.
actually communicating what they are
Right.
actually feeling. It's a lot of
Yes.
I think you feel this way, so I'm gonna say this. Whereas if we would just come out and say how we feel, a lot of this, what's your word? Bamboozle.
Yeah,
Bamboozleizer.
could be avoided. I feel
Yeah, but
like
do you think it's at a point of like when that happened, when everybody found out about, Delilah and Eddie, do you think it was a point of no return? I think the fact that the word divorce was mentioned to both, it hit hard again, but regardless of what's happening around, I think I would have broken down too, just hearing it again, because you did spend life and time with this person, and you're realizing now the time is like this chapter is closing, so you're gonna be emotional about it. However, you're also moving on at the same time, so it's a transition with that word divorce, and she's obligated to break down. I mean, it's
totally. Well, two quick questions on that point before we move on. Do we think that the reason why Catherine perhaps stuck her toe in the Hunter pond, so to speak, was to give herself emotional confirmation either way?
Oh, so are you asking, do you think he's a rebound? Pretty much.
No, I'm asking if she, like, if you're on the fence of making such a huge life decision, I don't think you do something as nonchalant as, like, invite some guy over and sleep with him. You know what I mean? Like, I think, I think she needed clarity one way or another about how she was feeling about what she wanted from their marriage. Yeah. So do you think do you guys agree with that? Or do you think that she was just kind of, she is legit ready to move on?
No.
No, she's hesitant. She's hesitant. And you should be. How much time has really gone by? It's like if Hunter came, like, I feel like a day after when you think about it.
I feel like she was really feeling it out. Like you were saying, like, is it to see what kind of emotions can he bring up from her? And it was shocking to me how angry she was about the way that he had brought forth that he had accepted the partnership position, because ultimately, if you really I know this is my perspective, but if you really like a person, you'd be really happy for them. Ultimately, she couldn't take that position because they couldn't supply her what she needed from it. So if you're going to be dating a guy that you're really into and they got that position, hey, power to them, I feel.
Well, was her argument more so just because of the timing of when he said it? Like, that's why she was missing. It was the timing, I think. That
when
was
is
the problem.
it ever a good time,
No,
though?
the sex part.
So
remember?
Essentially, what happened was she felt as if he should have told her right away. You know, they come home from work and he comes over and, hey, I have great news. Let me share this with you. But instead, he was like, oh, well, I don't want to potentially upset her because I took the position that she turned down by giving her this news, because I don't want to potentially sabotage our evening together.
Right.
I guess.
It was the timing. It was just the timing of it. It wasn't just like ultimately just being happy with the person.
He should have disclosed that right away.
She felt a little bit used, I think.
Yeah,
Right.
That was the point of that.
She felt a little bit used by
I
it.
see that now.
Yes.
Then.
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
Clarified that then.
we will see how this relationship progresses in the coming 5 episodes that we have remaining in this season, right? Did I do the math?
Yeah,
17. This was 13, so there's 4 left.
Oh, come on, guys. What is
4?
14, 15, 16, 17. There's 4 episodes
Oh,
left.
4. Yeah.
Well,
4.
let's jump into Ashley and Delilah. Ashley finally comes clean on a lot of what she has known about John's situation. So I feel like I need a flow chart and like a cup of coffee to figure out exactly what, I mean, I know what's happening, obviously. John overpaid for the buildings because he thought that when they originally purchased the buildings that they were going to skyrocket in value once this subway stop was put in place. We think we're going to have the votes. We find out that they don't have the votes, or that they were not going to have the votes, and that is what causes him to ultimately put his master plan into action. We meet Jerry Huntington, who is the councilwoman who approaches Delilah about not having the votes, and then she says, you do have the votes. So really, Delilah's kind of in this predicament the entire time. She's got not only now this newfound information from Ashley about all of the buildings, and she's got this new letter from John explaining his actions and his feelings, which that scene, I can't even.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we've got, this huge decision. Does she sell the buildings for what they're worth now, which is not very much, or not enough to get her out of the massive debt that she is in, or does she hold on to them on the hope that this subway gets put in, that they actually do get the votes? Ultimately, we see that she trusts her gut. She sells the buildings.
Thank goodness.
Right?
Right.
Thank goodness she
Do we think
followed
that
her gut.
Yeah.
I mean, I for one, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. What would you do if you were in that position?
I was gonna ask about Ashley, actually.
Oh, ask about Ashley.
As far as the whole situation and how she handled it, do you guys think, outside of the fact that I think that she should have gave Delilah the envelope from the beginning,
Right.
but how she handled everything as far as trying to protect the family, do you think that she went about everything the right way, and Delilah kind of, everybody kind of overreacted in the kitchen?
It wasn't her place. It was not Ashley's place to make these financial decisions for
Especially with the life
Delilah
insurance.
and her children and their family.
But
I mean, I understand that that's what John instructed her to do, but at the same time, Ashley is a third party in that family, and it should have been completely up to Delilah to make these decisions.
Yeah.
And John should have clued her in. John, 100% from the beginning, should have been like, this is the situation. I'm leveraging this money to pay for this and this and this, and my business deal is X, Y, and Z. I mean, he should have just
But
been
like, how do you
completely
sit somebody
transparent.
down and be like, by the way, when I kill myself, this is what
Well,
I want you to do
it
with
was
the
a
money?
sticky
Said that,
situation
but
from the
he
get-go.
should have just been transparent about all of the financial trouble that he was in.
But if he was transparent about all of the situation he was in,
And Ashley,
the whole Delilah situation with Eddie may have never happened. They may have had a Again, get your words out, people.
Right.
Not
what
just
you're
live in
saying.
your own head and live in a vacuum, because they're obviously they
We wouldn't have a show
perhaps
pretty much.
We would not have a show. We would not be
if he
here,
was
essentially.
transparent from the get-go.
I also think he had his reasons to not do that, because he might not have wanted to pull in his wife into his business, and then she might get too involved, or whatever the reasons are. But ultimately, we also know that he does state in that letter, I'm not the man that you think I am, or whatever. Like, he was already lost before they even met. So I feel like a lot of we know that he was trying to save that block of buildings because of that apartment that's so dear to him. But there's something there. There's just something that's just like intangible. And I don't.
Yeah, that's the one question we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Well,
I just think there's, deep-rooted issues as to why he did not make that move to share with Delilah. For good reasons, hopefully.
I'm sure it all has to do with Barbara Morgan.
Whoever she is.
I have a prediction about that, but keep going.
well, we'll jump into that in just a second.
I know.
It does seem to me that that there is. He even said it in his letter that there was sort of this dark part of him that he could not let go of, and that Delilah and the kids were that the other side of that, and let the other side of him, however small and however short it may have lasted, gave him the most life that he could possibly have, with always knowing that this sort of shadow was overshadowing.
I was going to say
you
ego.
know?
That was my word
Yeah.
earlier on. That he has some form of ego that needs to be like, I got to build this empire, and I'm going to be able to secure everything and be that good man for everybody and anybody. And ultimately that just cracked.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see how they wrap all of this up. I want to jump really quickly into our special segment.
Oh, goodness.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Ready to
sure.
jump. Ready to jump. Let's see. So we're going to do our hashtag little things ABTV. It's just the little thing that we took away from the episode that resonated with us for one reason or another.
this music every single time.
We always have, yes.
Ah, it's so lovely. And it's like
I feel like I'm on a
little
cloud.
creepy.
I know.
Yeah.
Really?
A little
No,
bit.
it's from Omarion. It's Icebox. I don't know if you know that R&B singer. That's why I know it. But okay, sorry.
I know that's true.
It's actually very
Listen.
old, but
Nice. Oh,
I like it.
Marion.
Well, look-
Wow.
from B2K.
It's like
I don't know if you're
early
gonna B2K.
2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just to give you
Hear
guys a
the whole
little
tune,
R&B
and then
trivia.
you'll be like, oh, it's okay. It's not too bad.
No, I like it. I just like sometimes it kind of sounds
It
like
is a bit.
I feel like I'm floating on
Spooky.
a cloud. I don't
Anyway, we'll talk more about that in
demonic
the comments later. Tay, what was your little thing from today?
I didn't actually, to be honest, think about it. But now that I actually think about it now, I'm going to say communication again. Because I feel like that's the problem with this whole show. It's just communication as a whole. If something was said about this, then this wouldn't happen. It's just like a complete circle of the same thing over and over again. So just communicate, people.
Yes. I agree.
What do you do?
But my biggest takeaway from this episode was thanks to Delilah when she says, "Don't blame yourself." And sorry, you heard that too, Maggie. And always trust your instincts. Because we do have a tendency to start to like look into ourselves like, oh my God, wait, what did I do? That's because of me. And no, everybody has whatever reasons and we just do not know. Don't blame yourself. Always trust your instincts.
So I wrote down the exact same thing. You can't blame yourself for other people's actions. And I just want to point out that I think that scene in the bathroom was so nice because it really showed how gracious and kind-hearted Delilah is, because she could have lashed out at Jerry and said, this is all your fault. How dare you? But she was like, you know what? Just stop blaming yourself. And I think that that's a good reminder to also be kind and gracious to others.
Compassion.
Yeah, and compassionate.
I love that. I think mine has to do with kind of along those same lines, but the just forgiveness of blame, just finding blame in the situation. I think that Delilah was, obviously when she got this letter, that I don't think she realized how much pain John was in. And to have so little information about the person that you're building a life with, I can imagine would be devastating. And I think that learning how to forgive yourself and learning how to forgive your partner for holding that back from you, I think is I don't know, gotta be a mountain to climb. So
and how heart-wrenching to see her read that letter to her children. Yes. My God, just tore my heart.
Can I have
that
one
upon
episode where I
anybody.
don't like tear up?
Cry.
seriously, not in the show. Sorry.
Where our mouths fall open.
All right, so let's jump into a little bit of news
We have a
Dun,
buzz.
dun, dun, dun.
because we got a lot. Take it away, Maggie.
Speak on it.
I've got some news, and you guys, this one is a little personal to me because I'm just, sitting on my couch this afternoon, and all of a sudden I get an Instagram message from Christina Moses, who plays Regina. She personally messaged me to let me know that I won the contest that they had back in the fall, where if you post a selfie of you wearing your I voted sticker, you would be in the running to win a signed poster by the entire cast.
You just get a
So I'm so excited to show you guys. So once I get it, she asked for my address, which is so cool. And once I get it, I'll bring it into the studio and show you guys.
She's got like a blue check mark, right?
Yeah, she's got a blue check mark.
That this is
So
her.
I got her in
Like,
here.
let me
And
just make
also, she, if you look at her Instagram, she and
gotta
the
stop
actor
real
who
quick.
plays Eddie posted a really fun video of them saying all of our names. So I was like, oh my God, they just said my name on Instagram. Like, so crazy. So check it out. It's really cool.
insane.
Congratulations to the other winners. It's
many
a
other
really
winners
special
are there?
gift. There's five.
Five
of
so
us.
there's
so.
6 of you. Oh,
No, 5 total.
no, 5 of you.
total.
Sorry.
Yeah, so the one thing that she did tell me that was gossip worthy was that she said, make sure that you send your address in soon, blah, blah, blah. I did right away. And she said, we wrap Saturday. So that means that they are wrapping the filming of season 1 this
Okay,
Saturday.
so maybe they can actually come on the show and leave Vancouver and come to LA and actually be here
Exactly.
now.
So then I did continue to
A lot of
mention, I
fans
said,
tuning in.
I'm
I wanna
a co-host on the panel for AfterBuzz TV for A Million Little Things After Show. We would love to have you on our show. And I said, we're talking to your PR people. Let's make it happen. And she said that would absolutely be great. So fingers crossed it works out, guys.
favorite.
Yeah, we love her. We love love Regina.
amazing.
So thank you, Christina. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing, this is great news. Ratings have skyrocketed because of our new move to Thursday nights after Grey's Anatomy. So please keep watching. You guys, please tell your friends to watch the show because it hasn't officially been renewed for season 2.
It will be.
So we need to make sure that we have really high ratings to make sure that our new favorite show continues on this uphill trajectory. Okay, third, if you guys follow DJ Nash on Instagram or Twitter, you'll notice that last week he said, those of you who love clues, pay attention to everything in the apartment. It's full of clues. So if you guys paid attention, there were like a couple oh, you said that last week?
No, it's okay. No, say it again.
Anyway,
say it again.
just pay attention. We may end up seeing some clues like the trophies and the missing things on the wall. Then okay, so Constance Zimmer was interviewed by Bustle.com, and she said that she knew basically the entire time that she was not Barbara Morgan. However, the cast and crew did not know that because on the call sheet, she never had a name. And she never had a name on her script. So basically, it was always nobody really knew. So everybody suspected. And she does say that she does know who Barbara Morgan is. But I'm not going to tell anyone. It's really cool. I have to say, the payoff is going to be worth the wait.
My
so
God.
All according
Cannot
to
wait.
yes.
Oh, I cannot
That's
wait. It's
amazing.
going to make it all happen.
Okay.
Very quickly,
Yes.
Tay, one prediction. Let's go.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I think Barbara Morgan is a side chick or a past or present of John. And one more thing, that's not the last we're going to see of Ashley.
No, Ashley's coming back.
Yeah, she's coming back. We keep
Oh, yeah.
I really cannot tell. And the only thing I'm going to say is Maggie's parents are going to come.
Okay.
That's good. Okay.
That's good.
My theory is that they are going to name the restaurant Rutledge.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that.
So that's my idea. And then Barbara
It's the
Morgan,
restaurant.
I feel like she's a completely new character that we've never seen yet. But she is not the character that we saw in next
Yeah,
week's
definitely.
preview.
Opening the door.
That's not
We've already
her.
been fooled with that one
Yeah.
once.
Yeah,
it's
not
Ladies
her.
and gentlemen, no thank you. My prediction is that Barbara Morgan is the old lady that lives in the apartment next to John.
I love that
funny.
prediction.
That's the best
I think
prediction.
she's Barbara
Shocking.
Morgan.
It would make sense because who drew the painting, like you said.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Who knows?
But I still don't think that's it. I think it's more juicier. I think it's like a side chick or something.
Just very
Hey,
quickly.
she could be a side chick. You never know.
You know,
lady
lady,
is
old lady that lives
You
in
don't
the
know his
building.
type, people.
All right.
Avalon in the chat quickly just says Barbara got to be his first wife because the painting was from that same apartment from his college days, and her name was on the painting as
See?
the artist.
Past or present. Thank you, Avalon.
All right.
It's a woman of John.
That
Woman of
sounds
John's
good.
past.
Well, we've
That
got
sounds
4
good.
episodes to find out. We hope that you will join us every Thursday from here on out to figure all of these wonderful theories out, guys. We are we're gonna wrap up. I'm Laura L. Thomas. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Laura L. Thomas TV.
I'm Maggie Clark. You can find me at Maggie Clark on camera on Instagram and at Maggie on camera on Twitter.
I'm Yasmine Tanres, and you can find me on all social media at Yasmine Tanres and my website, yasminetanres.com.
Woo, okay. And I'm Tay Alexandria. You can find me everywhere at Tay Alexandria TV. See you next week, guys. Bye.
See you next Thursday. Have a great week.
Thanks for watching.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.